Hello everyone, my name is Philip, and welcome to the episode 4 re-upload of the Backslog. As with the last few episodes, if you want to know why we're re-uploading all of these to begin with, you can find the explanation for all that in the first episode. We are now halfway through the first 7 episodes, and we are on what might be my first or second favorite episode out of all of these. I don't know, it sometimes gets a little hard to decide between either this or one of the Fate podcasts. The name of this episode was Tifa's Grab Bag, where we took 4 movies, all suggested by Tifa, and we basically just watched them all and talked about them all back to back, and they have no relation to one another. These are just 4 miscellaneous movies that Tifa cobbled together. And if you want to know why we decided to do it like this, well, let me explain. Near the start of the podcast, what I decided to do was create a Google Doc for Zen, Tifa, and I, where I could basically compile all of our recommendations for one another so that we would have a clearer idea of what we could do for future episodes. Now, fun fact, this is actually not how we're going to be handling episode topics going forward. I'll probably discuss this either in the episode 7 re-upload or at least definitely in episode 8 when we finally get around to that, but essentially, we have a new way we're going to be recommending each other stuff for future episodes, but again, I'll get to that when we get to it. Point is, during this time, we were all putting down our recommendations for what we wanted to cover on the show, and for Tifa, while she did have some synergy in some of the stuff she was putting on there, I remember she put all the Sonic movies down, so it's okay, those could be handled all in one video if she decides to pick that for a topic. There were just a lot of other miscellaneous movies that really didn't connect with one another. And for this podcast, I would like to avoid trying to do a single movie for a full episode, so I looked at a lot of the suggestions that Tifa had, and I basically just went, you know what? Why don't we have, instead of focusing 4 individual podcasts on these 4 individual movies, why don't we just have a Tifa's Grab Bag episode where it's a bunch of different movies that she's put on her list and we can just cover them all in one go as opposed to, in-depth looks at every single one of them, and Tifa would basically just be wasting her slot on one movie and one movie alone. And yeah, man, I really enjoyed the discussion on this one. It's fun to just take 4 miscellaneous movies and kind of just go through them blind for the very first time. And jumping the gun a little bit here, but this is kind of the format I want to use going forward from episode 8 and onwards. Even when we're not talking about movies, kind of having this segmented look, where we look at one movie, then going to the other, then going to the other. Even if we're taking a look at a TV show, I kind of want to keep this same general structure going forward because I think it works the best for this podcast. Now, I don't exactly know yet how that's going to translate to a TV show or a video game if we decide to cover video games, but we'll get there when we get there. Point is, of all 7 of these episodes, this was the episode I felt the most okay, we have a clear structure here and it works. We're having fun discussing all the individual movies, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And I also hope you guys enjoyed the different visuals I had on screen this time around. It's not just the same stock grassy background I've been using for the show up until this point, but it's actual title cards I put up for every single one of the movies. And, this structure, that's something I want to try and do for all the future episodes of the Backslog going forward, because I just think it works really well. So yeah, with that said, there's not really much else to say. The final 3 uploads of the series are going to be all dedicated to Fate's Day night, so I'm sure we'll have plenty more to discuss when we get to those. But until then, I hope you guys enjoy watching the episode for the first time, or rewatching it if you caught it on the stream the first time. Hello everybody, I am Philip. It is I, the usual editor of the Bun Squad, and I am here with another edition of the Backslog. I am here, of course, with my 2 co-hosts on my, well, I guess they're both on my left, just judging by the Fugies. I have got my lovely partner, Zenith Warrior Princess, the cutest of buns. And then next to her, we have got our lovely partner, Tifa, otherwise known as Gutslove. We'll start with you, Zen. How are you going?
It's been a busy long week. I mean, it's Monday and it feels like it's been a long time. I've been hard at work, recording so much recording. I have the new Fun Plays primer that I'm working on. I have a new thing that I'm working on. I have stuff for jobs. I have this and that. I've been recording a lot. Plus, we have the Disney debate. The 100th episode of the Disney debate is recorded, and it's a really long one. It's nearly 4 hours. So, like, I've been recording nonstop, and Danganronpa 2 is also being recorded. So it's just been lots of recording.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how about you, Tifa?
Well, I just came back from San Diego Comic-Con last weekend, and well, not the last 2 weekends ago, and I am prepping to leave to go to Disney 23. I've had a very difficult and stressful couple of days at work, but hopefully things turn up because it's the beginning of another month, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've also been watching another show in the meantime, but we'll get to that by the end of the stream. You guys might already know what it is, but that's not the focus for this stream. For this stream, we decided, well, okay, we need a little bit of a buffer before the next set of streams for the Backslog that we're going to be getting into. And unfortunately, we have decided to shelve Chainsaw Man for the time being. I'm pretty sure that by last time I had said, yeah, the next 2 streams are going to be focused on Chainsaw Man. Because of a few reasons, mainly just us getting overwhelmed with like many different projects, and you know, not wanting to like pile on like a big manga like Chainsaw Man. It's not like that big. It's only about 100 chapters, at least for part 1.
It's big for me. Like, legitimately, one of my weaknesses, and I'm gonna be frank for this, I read very slow. And you're currently having me, like, read a bunch of visual novels, like, including Danganronpa 2,
so we can't talk about that.
What do you mean we can't talk about Fate?
Anyway.
I was talking about Fate Stay Night.
Sheesh. Anyway, but yeah, it's decently big, and so we decided, you know what, let's shelve Chainsaw Man for the time being. We'll likely get to that, not for this year, because our schedule's all kind of full, but like around early to mid next year, I was thinking we can jump back into Chainsaw Man and give that another shot. But for the time being, I figured, okay, well, what's a good buffer before the next thing we're going to jump into for the Backslog? And I figured, okay, you know what, Tifa, I'm already getting you to watch something really massive right now, which again, don't want to foreshadow a lot, but like, we'll get to that later. And so I was like, let's just have you talk about something that you are familiar with and you can share it to Zen and I. Because when we were making a list of all the stuff that we want to tackle on the Backslog, I basically just said, all right, well, just put whatever you 2 want on the list. And Tifa put a lot of miscellaneous movies that don't tie with each other at all. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't we do something called, Tifa's grab bag? And we might do this for Zen and I as well. But like, you know, we might do this for Zen and I as well. But I figured because Tifa had a lot of different movies she wanted to talk about, and I very much enjoy Tifa's Fuki flapping her lips up and down because of her because of her keyboard. But yeah,
I figured it's a little bit too close. I'm sorry.
But because Tifa was she had a lot of different movies that she wanted to talk about that didn't connect a whole lot. I was like, let's do Tifa's Backslog. No, Tifa's Backslog. Yeah, this is your show now, Tifa. No, Tifa's grab bag.
Yeah, give me control. Assuming direct control.
This is Tifa's grab bag, so we can talk about a bunch of different movies that are, you know, not connected to each other like at all, but they would be fun topics to discuss for the series as a whole. So Tifa, before Zen and I go into our history with these movies, because we have varying degrees of history, but at the very least, we each have one film at bare minimum that we had no history with whatsoever. So it does fit in line with this going through our backlog. Before Zen and I go into that at all, why don't you discuss the movies that, or like mention the movies that we will be talking about today, preferably in release order.
Okay, in release order. Alrighty then. So In terms of release order, the first film we will be talking about is, of course, the Rankin Bass animated film, The Last Unicorn. The second would be the 1993, at the time, Touchstone release, later on dubbed under Disney, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, to be precise.
Quote unquote.
Mm-hmm. Then going to the 2012, if I'm correct, Rise of the Guardians from DreamWorks Animation.
Not the last one.
Rise
but
of the
okay.
Planet of the Guardians of the Galaxy of Ga'Hoole.
I unfortunately skipped a 2006 release, but it's kind of perfect at the same time. I'm
Alright.
gonna go with that same order as well. What were you gonna say, Phil? Sorry.
Sorry, I was I just wanted to have a listen to how the audio was, so I deafened for a little bit. So what was that order? I'm sorry.
Okay, the order that I mentioned was Last Unicorn, Nightmare Before Christmas. Then I jumped from the 2006 to 2012 with Rise of the Guardians, and then Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, we're gonna do this release order, so Pan's Labyrinth is gonna be the third movie we talk about, and also because I don't want to leave this off on a depressing note, basically.
Nah, Phil, you're fired. You're fired.
It's
No.
completely understandable, no worries.
I am going to slightly bump down the Discord audio. Maybe 0.5 decibels. We'll work on that. Otherwise, I think we all sound peachy keen. Unfortunately, there's no one.
I
there's
don't
no one
want
in
to sound
chat.
like a peach. I am a bunny.
Unfortunately, there's
I'm
no
a
one in
bunny.
chat. There's no one in chat right now who's interacting. If you are just joining us at the moment, please do talk in chat. It is not going to be featured on the like on the post. Like it's not going to be like featured on the VOD upload of this, but we do appreciate anyone who does come down to speak with us in chat. We do acknowledge people most of the time while we are on stream, so please do feel free to post something in chat. But yeah, unless we have anything else we want to say, do we want to just jump into our first movie?
I was gonna ask histories because that's what I was
Yes.
talking. Yeah, I say we do our history starting with Tifa.
Alrighty then. For The Last Unicorn, I never watched it before I was in college.
Well, I was gonna
What were
say
you gonna
that
say, Phil?
for individual films, I would say that we save them for like when we get to like each of them individually. But like, you know, I was just thinking for like Zen and I to like basically just do a brief overview of like all the films and what our personal histories were, because obviously these are 4 of your favorite films of all time, Tifa, and I'm sure you can like get into them like ad nauseum like in a moment. But just to quickly go over the films like very briefly individually and like what our histories are with them. For me personally, I'm experienced with, quite frankly, most of these. The one film I have had no experience with whatsoever before this stream was The Last Unicorn. And technically, until very recently, I also hadn't seen the Nightmare Before Christmas. I did end up watching that a few months back, which I
You uncultured swine.
which I do believe I
I
mentioned.
didn't want to say.
I do believe I mentioned in the media we experienced in 2023. I saw that at the very end of last year. So that was one film that until recently I hadn't seen, but you know, technically I didn't watch that for this stream specifically, but whatever. And then the other 2 films, Pan's Labyrinth, it has been quite a long time since I had seen before this stream, but I have seen it before my recent rewatch. It was in high school. We watched it for my media class in high school, so my media teacher has very good taste, I will say that much. And then Rise of the Guardians is the one film where I've long since experienced that. That is a film that I've seen multiple times, including watching it in the theaters. But what about you, Zen? Which of these films have you had experience with before?
So when it comes to Last Unicorn, I had no experience with. I did see Dominic Noble's review, his Lost in Adaptation, and I did see the what's his name's cover of The Last Unicorn's main theme. It was
one of the Game Grumps, you mean, right?
Danny Sexbang Ninja Sex Party.
Yeah.
He did a cover of The Last Unicorn, and it was fantastic. But I didn't I hadn't seen it, so I was just like, okay, like I went into it mostly blind. For let's see, the next one, Nightmare Before Christmas. I saw this when I was a kid. I see it like nearly every year now. So Nightmare Before Christmas, I see a lot. Pan's Labyrinth, my parents actually watched it when I was younger, and I remember, I think I was playing video games downstairs one night, and I came up and I saw a scene, and I only saw one scene from it, and then I went back downstairs. But like that's about it. So a lot of that's new to me. And then Rise of the Guardians is one that I watched recently as of this year for Tifa, because I wanted to watch some new movies and experience some stuff, and it was a lot of fun. I have a lot of things to say, but like half of these I have a personal history with, the other half I really don't. And it's mostly just like I hear about them through cultural osmosis. Otherwise.
With that said, maybe now we can get into each film individually, and you can go into your histories with each film, Tifa, and we can talk about them as a whole. So, starting things up, also for each film, I have some fancy little title cards. Whabam! So the first film we're going to talk about
Shabams.
Is The Last Unicorn, released in 1982. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this film, Tifa?
Well, as I previously mentioned that before the two of you started with your histories, I did not watch this movie up until college, but I had seen like images of said unicorn, and as you can see on the poster on screen, the Red Bull, not to be confused with the energy drink. And I had never like seen it when I was younger, and I've always seen like the DVD like at Walmart, at Target, but never saw it until one day I was like, well, it's on YouTube, why not watch it? And I watched it during class because I was having like a very boring a very boring class. Like I finished my assignment, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch it. I have headphones. And
don't watch YouTube during class, kids. We might have done it, but
yeah, don't.
But don't do so.
Do it.
Do it. And so I watched it, and I was so like enraptured by the artwork, and also how just like how this fantasy story was handled compared to other 80s movies that I might have seen or just like heard from cultural osmosis, where it's just like, oh, everything is so bright and colorful, and oh, the chosen one, and then you gotta fight against the bad guy. Not directed by what was this guy's name again? I'm forgetting his name. Oh god, Ralph Bakshi, that's the name. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, because hey, he made a lot of like 80s movies with fantasy or just live action, but we're not talking about that. With The Last Unicorn, it just like captivated my attention, and I was like, wow, what would have happened if I had watched this when I was younger? Would I have been obsessed with it? Would my brain chemistry change if I had watched it as a young kid? Would the Red Bull terrify me as much as other 80s kids? I'm a
Hold
90s
up,
kid.
need to have some Red Bull right now.
I'm a 90s kid myself, but I was terrified by a lot of things, especially like two things that come up to my head is, of course, the outro artwork of Batman the Animated Series. Don't know why I was terrified of that. And also the beginning and ending portions of Michael Jackson's Thriller music video. But I was a weird kid. I would get scared by such like nonsensical stuff. But anyways, The Last Unicorn.
Sorry, I was.
Go ahead.
I was so sorry. No, I was just gonna say I'm messing around with the transitions here. I just learned how to transition individual layers in OBS.
Nice.
Why did it take me so long
to? Me later.
Why did it take me so long to do that? I don't know. Basically, all you do is just right click and go to show transition, and then you have like a couple of different things. So for example, you can also swipe as a transition.
Nice.
There we go. Anyway.
Any hoozle. So I was kind of
who's
obsessed. I was kind of obsessed with it, but not to the degree of other films, because again, this was in my early days of using Twitter, and I wasn't like very keen on it until way later. I used Tumblr more most of the time. R.I.P.
Mm-hmm.
No,
it's still around.
Yeah, it's still around. It just kind of sucks now.
It's dead to me. It's like a walking ghost, a corpse. It's shambling around.
Yeah.
No
so,
porn.
Anyway, a little bit of a plot synopsis for this movie is, of course, just like the title says, there are no more unicorns around, and the last remaining one overhears such news and says, "Hey, you know what? I can't really be the last. Maybe I should go outside from my domain out into the realm of man to find the other unicorns." Shenanigans occur. The people join her cause, including a Schmendrick, the magician, and Molly Gru, a disheveled, not really old woman. She looks like she's in her 30s, but then again,
she looks like she's in
days, it's like.
She looks like she's in her like late 30s, early 40s. Like she's not that old.
Yeah. But you know how in the ancient times, if you were at that age, you are considered old.
Mm-hmm.
You were not expected to live longer. And so and they meet up with this cruel King Haggard, and his son Prince Lear in order to find where the Red Bull is hiding amongst the castle. Oh, sorry about that. I got a little bit distracted by the construction site outside. I'm so sorry if any of the construction sound comes through the mic.
You're good. You're good.
And it just like captivated me how it was handled compared to other like fantasy films, because it's like all sunshine and rainbows, kind of like the My Little Pony movie or the Care Bears movie, which yikes, no. Because I did not feel like I was being talked down to, despite being already like a grown adult. Well, technically grown adult, because I was like maybe 22, 23 when I watched this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And how they dealt with those serious themes while at the same time not, going to the usual Ralph Bakshi route. Like, for example, how there's a lot of talk about life and death and immortality and what it means to be immortal and remembered. Like with the Mommy Fortuna voiced by the magnificent Angela Lansbury, which I was like, bruh, girly, hi. She mentions how because she has caught not one but two immortal creatures that are actual like living flesh and blood mythical creatures, because in the realm of man that the unicorn has gone into pretty much no longer believes in magical creatures, unless you are one of those select few who still believe with all of their heart. Mommy Fortuna had also caught a harpy, the three-titted harpy, which is not censored. It is not censored.
Well, it is Bakshi. This is the first time for Bakshi.
No, this is not Bakshi. This is Rankin Bass.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Speaking of which, I do not know if I watched the censored or uncensored version. So, do you want to just quickly mention like what the differences are?
Yes. Okay, so the big difference from what I recall regarding the censored and uncensored versions of this movie, it's very little. Like, literally, it's so small. But for one particular scene, I am so upset that they censored it, because I was one of the lucky few who watched it uncensored. Like I was mentioning with the harpy that Mommy Fortuna caught, she does have the three titties. They're hanging out for the world to see. if I remember correctly, it is one of the versions where they do censor out the camera looming down the three titties. But the other two are so like it I don't know how to explain this. Like, it's so bizarre. Like, they just censored these other two scenes because of language. And it's so bizarre. I'm gonna mention the second one first. Of course, when the unicorn reaches the castle of King Haggard, before that, her team encounters the Red Bull, and in order to protect the unicorn, Schmendrick accidentally turns her into a human, and so they go into the castle with the unicorn, now named Lady Amalthea, in order to like search for the other unicorns because they heard that King Haggard has them, but also find the Red Bull. And Amalthea, the unicorn, starts having like this quasi-romance with Prince Lear, who Prince Lear is like head over heels for her, like the very moment that she comes in. Well, she is losing her memories from being a unicorn and accepting that she's a human, which is Naguchi. So before this one song appears, because hey, this is a musical, I forgot to mention. This is a musical, it has a lot of songs. There's this moment where Prince Lear wants to serenade Amalthea with poetry after Molly's guidance, because it's like, oh, she is not the kind of woman who is moved by good deeds. Just talk to her like a human person, instead of just like coming at her with a freaking dragon's head, being like, hey, I slain the dragon. And he is trying to repeat the words that he had written down, like, oh, moss, cross, damn. Like, it's the damn that gets erased, and it feels weird. It has like this weird empty void in the censored version, which I'm like, okay, it feels weird. It feels weird without it. You just see him like move, and you see the lips move, but he says nothing. The one scene that it's censored also because of language is a very pivotal scene in the entire movie, in my opinion, and also very pivotal for Molly Gru's character. She is an older woman, late 30s, early 40s, and she has pretty much given up on life. She is very crude. She is very like vocal about what she likes and what she does not like, and is ready to like slit the wizard's throat. But when she finds the unicorn, after the unicorn and Schmendrick escape her husband's like clutches, like Captain Tully and his men, Molly sees the unicorn compared to the other humans throughout the movie, and she starts having like, not necessarily a breakdown, but like just, she had believed in unicorns all her life. That part of her dialogue is first like trying to comprehend that, oh my god, this is a true ass unicorn in front of me. Where have you been? Where have you been? Damn you, where have you been? You hear the desperation in her voice going from, oh my god, you're here. Why did it take you so damn long? And oh god, her speech, it just, because she mentions like, oh, where were you 20 years ago, 10 years ago, when were you when I was new, where were you when you come to the young maidens that you always come to, because again, in those days, even though this is a fantasy setting, virginity and innocence is very prized in a young woman, and it was very important for Molly to see a unicorn in her youth, and for the unicorn that represents all of that goodness, that innocence, that purity that she missed out on. She feels like, why the hell are you coming to me when I am this? Disheveled, used, old, things that when that happens to a woman, they're no longer valuable. And it's just that freaking speech was so impactful to me when I watched it that when I was trying to share the movie to, be it coworkers, be it friends, I was getting nothing but the censored version, like on Netflix or on other streaming services, or even trying to get the DVD, because it's very rare to find the actual copies that don't have the censorship. And it's, for me, it's so pivotal that it just feels so weird that the censored version has, like, it rushes the music a little bit, and even like the animation where she like switches her head, she just gasps again, like and it's like it feels so weird. It feels so weird. I'm like, no.
I don't think I watched the censored version, but I could be wrong. Altogether, I didn't really. I don't think I would have noticed like that big of a difference at the end of the day. But now that we get into the, oh sorry, Tifa, you good?
Sorry, give me a quick second, guys. I'm so sorry.
Oh, good. While Tifa is AFK, Zen, would you like to get into your thoughts of the movie?
Yeah, I don't think I saw the censored version. I mean, I purchased it as a rental on Amazon Prime. I think it. I remember those parts being in the film, so I think we're good there. I want to really love The Last Unicorn because there's a lot of things that I really do love about it. The animation from Rankin Bass is fantastic. It's breathtaking. The way they showcase the world is ethereal. It's not perfect flowing animation, but for the time period, they do a lot with it to make it stand out. The opening song, The Last Unicorn, is breathtaking. It's stunning. It gave me chills, and from the start, I was invested in this world and this story about this unicorn. And so there's so much I do like, and I like, Man's Road. I like a lot of the songs, and I like the big story beats, like you said, about how they see the unicorn is like, how dare you come in front of me now that I'm this. The dialogue, the writing is really good. It's just, I have a problem where I liked most of the film, but there are some things that really kind of nagged at me. A lot of it goes from plot point to plot point very quickly. When they get into the Mommy Fortuna camp, that made sense. And I liked the idea that, like, you know what, Harpy, you're gonna destroy me one day. I know, but you're always going to remember that I captured you. And I liked like stuff like that. I thought it was really cool. And the stuff about Smendrick, how he's not necessarily a failed wizard. He's just has so much magical power that he can't control it, which is not something they actually bring up in the film, but it's something that they cut out from the book. But at the end of the day, his struggles to be a better wizard is really interesting. At the same time, as the film starts to go on, a lot of it was just like, and then this happened, and then there's a big-titted tree, and then they walk into an encampment with Captain Cully, and Amanda Rose.
Some animator behind the scene really want to fuck that tree. Like, they really had a fetish that they want to bring upon the audience.
There is no immortality, but the trees love.
And it's like, I get that it's an old school animated film, but like as once they started getting to the second half, the plot points started just really getting weirder and less sensical. And the second half of the film has some of the worst songs ever. There's Now That I'm a Woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was liking the score pretty well up until like near the end, and then the guy started talking. Like, I forget his name, but the love interest for
Prince
the unicorn.
Lear.
Yeah, and I was
Prince
like,
Lear also sings in one song, and he's even worse. Like,
yeah,
the Now That I'm a Woman song, like, at least she's trying, but then like Prince Lear sounds so bored, and that's what, like, I want to praise most of these characters. I think Smendrick sounds a little bit weird. But the rest of them are fine, except for Lear, he's phoning it in. But then you have Christopher Lee, who's Prince Haggard. And it's like...
King Haggard.
King Haggard, rather. I want to like this movie. And to a certain extent, that first hour, most of it is really good and really engaging and really breathtaking. But then you get to the, like, you know... the wine that has to drink itself and the talking skeleton that gets enchanted
the riddles.
Yeah, I was like,
walk through the clock.
When I got to that point, I was just like, wait, we have 15 minutes left of this movie. We're still introducing shit, like, and I was just like, come on,
it's still,
man.
and it takes a lot of time, like setting stuff up and meandering, and they're at the castle for so long, and then they go through a clock, and then suddenly the Red Bull is there, and I'm just like, what is going on? And
yeah,
then the unicorns come out of the sea. Like, the ending is just, they drop the ball. They drop the ball in the last act.
You took the words out of my mouth, Zen. Like, just to get into my thoughts of the film. This is the last film I watched in the marathon, which was not a good idea because it's the only one I haven't seen yet. Well, technically I didn't even watch Nightmare Before Christmas because, like, just a behind the scenes thing, guys. I've been pressed for time just for a lot of reasons. So I was just like, I've been like trying to squeeze these films in where I can. And so I was just like, look, I saw Nightmare Before Christmas, like, not like, I saw it just a few months ago. I don't really need a refresher for it. So I took the L on that one. I just decided let's just skip rewatching it. And so but I did watch the other three. And, so this movie's the freshest in my mind because I literally just saw it like not too long ago. And I will say, it's probably my least favorite of the four films. Not to say it's bad, because I don't think it's a bad film.
Yeah,
but,
it's not bad.
Yeah, I would say that, like, as far as my opinions on it go, I like the animation, didn't like the character designs, but that's more of a Rankin Bass thing. I think Rankin Bass do a good job at, like, stop motion animation, but when it comes to 2D animation, I don't really think it's their strong suit.
Because, like,
it's a very, like, odd stylization.
What I like about it is, like, I mean, I grew up with Rankin Bass animations, like Santa Claus is Coming into Town. So, like, yeah, that's more natural looking. Motion. But I think what they excel at here is making it more ethereal, and it's like it's supposed to look otherworldly.
It does look very otherworldly. It's just that, like, every time I look at the character designs, I'm like, okay, some of them look fine, like Molly and the unicorn, but it's like, for the other ones, I'm just like, you don't look right. And some of them, to be fair, are not meant to look, some of them are not meant to look right, to be fair, but it's like, it's not very pretty to look at a lot of the time. And the voice performances also, like, vary wildly. Like, for example, Angela Lansbury and Christopher Lee are doing A+ jobs. Like, they're doing fantastically the entire time. I really do love the, what was it, like, what was her name?
Mommy Fortuna?
Mommy Fortuna, yeah. That, that
her design is so creative.
That entire scene with her was really...
it looks like she's wearing a tree for a hat. Because you know how you see, like, the crow, like, hanging around.
It can also be a hat.
But yeah, that scene was really nice. I really like that scene. But I also... sorry, let me collect my thoughts. I really love that scene. I really loved, like, the scene where she turns into a human for the first time, and Molly's just like, what have you done? Like the unicorn herself is like, what have you done? Why have you put me in this body? Just to kind of show, and you understand why the guy did it, but it's like, you're also like putting yourself in the unicorn's position. It's just like, God, that must freaking suck. Like, you to be in a body of, like, that's not your own. It's a very like realistic.
This immortal
this body
being,
is dying all around me is like that.
It's an
that's
immortal
a really great
being
line.
put in the flesh of something that has mortality, and even like Molly's like, hey, don't hurt yourself, because she knows, especially because of being turned into a woman specifically, and also like a mortal woman. And she's like, oh no, all of the horrors that the unicorn is gonna face now. Holy shit.
Yeah. And That's probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I also really like again the Mummy Fortuna stuff is really good. I'm in a little bit of an in between place so that I am with some characters in some movies where I'm in between thinking we got just enough of them while also wanting more. I was put in the same position thinking about what was his name, Tamatoa from Moana. Yeah, and I'm just like, there are some characters like that where I'm just like, damn, did we get just enough of you, or should we have gotten more? And like, I think Mummy Fortuna is one of those characters. I think that I love how instead of being like, no, oh my god, all the beasts, she just fully accepted it. Like, yeah, come on, kill me. But just know that I'm always going to be the one who captured you. I'm like, damn, that is cold.
Like I mentioned earlier, this movie also has layers in terms of immortality and living forever. With Mami Fortuna, her immortality is that, hey, she captured and held against their will two magical beings, especially the harpy. With King Haggard is that feeling of joy and youth, that's why he gathered all of the unicorns in order for him to keep. Like many billionaires out there, hoarding everything for themselves.
But I really I think my big problem with the movie is just like exactly as Zen said. It's just we keep moving from plot point to plot point, character to character, and it just gets to the point where you're just thinking to yourself, so we're gonna like delve a little bit more into these characters instead of just like, you know, jumping around with them. Because and I think what's his name, the magician, the fraud magician guy, Schmendrick. Yeah, I think Schmendrick gets maybe the most out of any of the characters in the film, because I really did feel that he had like a general arc from like that, like a start, middle, and end. But with Molly, for instance, I feel like we hardly got her beginning. You know, we got it enough, but like when she just comes in and it's like, oh, where have you been? It's like, I feel like we should have gotten some motive, like some background for her. Not even if it's not a flashback, I feel like we should have gotten some sort of backstory for her verbally, because like we just get that dropped out of nowhere, and I'm like, yeah, I think I need a little bit more with Molly. I like Molly well enough. I think she's a good companion for Schmendrick and the Unicorn. But like, I just feel like we should have gotten a little bit more with her. And then like, I think the king, although he's played brilliantly by Christopher Lee, I feel like he and his son were a little one-dimensional, and so like we just need, like they were just pawns to further the unicorns like character. And I think it all comes together like fine enough. I think it's an okay movie. It's just also the one that out of the lot I enjoyed the least, because we didn't get a lot of character in here, unfortunately. Where character shined, it shined really well, and I think the voice actors did a really good job of elevating the film. But, you know, I feel like there just should have been a lot more than what we got. You know, a lot less jumping around and more like, you know, just solid characterization.
Yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from, the both of you, and I'm not sure because I haven't read the book myself, because this is based off a book by Peter S. Beagle, who worked and made the screenplay for the movie. So he had a bit of a say of what should be on screen. So maybe he had cut out some of that information. I unfortunately cannot remember like the backstory for Molly Grew, if there is one from the books. Again, I haven't read the book, but I do recall from Dominic Noble's video on The Last Unicorn regarding Schmendrick's backstory, and also how King Haggard got Prince Lear, because he didn't get him from marriage, just like he mentioned in the movie that, oh, somebody left Lear at his doorstep. There's a big like reason as to why that happened in the book. But I'm not gonna say anything just in case if anybody who is either like amongst us, amongst you, my co-hosts, and also anybody who decides to hear this podcast and is interested in reading the book. So I'm gonna stay quiet.
Yeah. This is honestly kind of like the film I have the least to talk about, if I'm being real. Is there anything else that either of you want to say before we move on to Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, like, I can see why people love this film. This is Eliza's favorite film. And a lot of people really gel to it. And it's like, it's very well written. It's very well performed. It has some great music. It does produce like its animation and its feelings, its emotions are really well done. I couldn't get behind it by the end, especially now that I'm a woman. So, now that I'm a woman,
Fun fact about that song, but first you. Go ahead.
that legit hurt me when I first heard it. I'm like, oh my god, ow.
So, fun fact regarding that song in particular, that was Mia Farrow singing, but it was a temporary track that they were using for the animation, and they had somebody else fill in for Amalthea's vocals, which you could hear the difference in voice when you were hearing the romance song between Lear and Amalthea, which is pretty much Now That I'm a Woman and also the princess segment. But they forgot to replace the audio track for Now That I'm a Woman, so that's why we got the Mia Farrow version. So if you try to look for the song on YouTube or wherever you hear like your film soundtracks, you're gonna hear the alternate version that was supposed to be on the final print. Which is more
Well, that's
like
unfortunate.
yeah, it's more performed and everything. Like it has its performance, but in this one, even though I do understand the cringe factor from Now That I'm a Woman, I understand the cringe, but it kind of has that little bit of vulnerability to the performance, in my opinion, compared to the professional version. But it depends on everybody.
Yeah. With that said, do you guys want to move over into some Disney territory?
Disney? I ain't never talk about no Disney.
All right. Well, Tifa, why don't you tell us a little bit about The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, of course, this movie was originally distributed by Touchstone Pictures, which is a subsidiary of Walt Disney Pictures. Tim Burton made his little poem of the same title so that because he had an idea. You know how many stores change their decorations from Halloween to Christmas? That was actually one of the origins of the idea behind this movie. And when Tim Burton was pitching the idea to Disney, they were like, okay, but it sounds too scary to put under the Disney brand, so we're gonna put it under Touchstone, the grown-up side of things, quote unquote. But I mean, come on, Disney has a lot of subsidiaries. 20th Century Fox. But unfortunately, Tim Burton was too busy directing one of the Batman films. I think it was Batman Returns. And so he gave the reins to the upcoming director Henry Selick. So a lot of people confuse, like, oh, wasn't Tim Burton the director of this movie? No, I learned that from my early days of being obsessed with this movie when I was 10 years old. That Henry Selick is the director. Tim Burton, he did create it. He helped a little bit with the script. It's based off of his poem and characters, but he did not direct. He did not direct this movie. Yeah, that pissed me off so much when I was younger. I was like, no, you can see it in the freaking credits. Ah!
But it's on the box. Yeah. It says Tim Burns.
Yeah. And so this movie came out when I was literally 1 year old. I am a 92 baby. And this movie came out in 93. I had the VHS with me when I was younger, but fun fact, I had the VHS with me and I was a bit terrified of it. I do not recall watching it beforehand. and I decided to scribble over the VHS with red crayon as if trying to teach it a lesson. Childhood
How dare you?
mentality.
That very much sounds like what a child Tifa would do.
And it wasn't until 2002. I was gonna say 2002, 2020. Oh god. It wasn't up until 2002 when I had a dream one late October with the titular Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King, and the rest is history. I was obsessed with it. I was moving at the time, and I was rummaging through the various like moving boxes that we had all of our VHS tapes in, trying to look for this movie because I had that vague memory that, hey, I have this movie. I recognize the character. I found the VHS. And I started watching it, and the obsession began. It was thanks to this movie that I started drawing, that I started looking for like behind the scenes stuff in movies, specifically animated movies, because for those who still remember from the old days of cable TV on the Disney Channel, there were moments where they would show you the behind the scenes of certain movies. One that I remember really, really well is the avalanche scene from Mulan. How they combined like 2D animation with computer graphics, similar to the cap system. I think they used caps, but I could be completely wrong. But I remember that so well, and I was going through everything from, okay, who was the music composer? Who are the voice actors of this movie? Who did the screenplay? Everything, every nook and cranny over this movie, because it was that big of an obsession. Just like with Jack Skellington with his obsession with Christmas.
Yeah.
And
what about
yeah.
Finish your thought.
Sorry. Just a little bit more trivia from my end. When I was getting my obsession over this movie, I was unfortunately my family was unfortunately going through a kind of messy divorce, and this movie was also my comfort film. It was my coping mechanism, because at the time, itty bitty Tifa did not understand what was going on thanks to my ADD. So this was my way of coping without realizing it was a coping mechanism. And also, for the people who do not know, but I'm not even sure if I told the two of you, but I have told Casey a long time ago that I had this belief that Jack Skellington was my father. Because my actual father is a douchebag.
Yeah.
And so I started drawing Jack Skellington, comforting me in so many of my drawings that even my mom was a little bit concerned, but she was helping me getting through with therapy without me realizing it was therapy.
So in other words,
So
guys,
for a long time I considered Jack Skellington my father for a long time. So right now he is a comfort character.
Yeah, so in other words, guys, Jack Skellington was the what's the quote I'm trying to pull? He's the father that not the father that Tifa deserved, but the one she needed.
Yes. And he was also the beginning of me getting attached to a lot of skeleton characters throughout media. Not all of them, but most of them.
What about you, Zen? What's your history with The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Well, I can't remember when I first watched it. I know I used to go to Blockbuster and other video rental stores, you know, those things that are now defunct these days. But I used to go out and get a lot of movies, and I think that was where I first saw it. I can't remember. I do know I watched a lot of like Batman movies when I was young, so that might have been the catalyst. I just can't remember. I remember seeing it when I was younger, and it just captivated me. It's a very interesting, wonderful film. It's one of those films that just like gets your attention. These days, I don't think it's the greatest film ever made. It like I used to think. But it set a lot of like an aesthetic for me. I was a goth kid.
Yeah.
I was the goth
Oh my
scene
god,
kid
Zen was
when I
a
was
goth
younger.
girly.
I used to wear like a lot of that fashion sense. I listened to My Chemical Romance. I listened, a lot of those types of bands that were inspired by The Nightmare Before Christmas. It was really big for me. What I will say, Nightmare Before Christmas, fantastic animation. I cannot be understated. Supreme animation, fantastic music, like overall great plot, great ideas. I just think there's two scenes in the middle that are there to pad out the film and make it feature length, and I get why they did that. But if you're like, as we're looking, they really get the point across, but like Jack addresses the entire town and says, okay, this is what's happening. It's like, but you just don't get it. And I'm like, yeah, because you're not explaining anything.
Yeah,
and there's a scene
He has
where,
the
like,
tism. That's why I associate myself with Jack Skellington so much, because it's like I understand what he's trying to say, but the others don't, because he doesn't really explain it well.
Yeah,
which has happened to me so many times.
There's a part of me that's like, this definitely feels like a movie that, that could have just been like, a little beefed up, like Rankin Bass, like Christmas, like stop motion special. But at the end of the day, it ends up like just coming out as a full length film. And I just getting into my thoughts of the film, I know it's a film that means a whole lot to Tifa, so now I'm gonna shit on it. No, I'm kidding. It is a good movie. It is very much a good movie. I will say though, like Zen was saying how, oh well, it's a film that nowadays she recognizes isn't like a masterpiece that she thought it was when she was a child. I will say, it is a film that I wish I had seen as a child, because I probably would have loved it a whole lot more than I do now. Because I like the film now. I think it's a good film, but I feel like a lot of the spectacular things that the film does probably would have seemed a whole lot more special to me as a kid and stuck with me for a lot longer. Because I just feel like I've seen a lot of what this film does done better in other films. And that's not to say like that's a negative, like a strong negative against the film. It's just that it, from a modern lens, it could come across as a little bit unremarkable. But I still think that for what it does it really well. I think the stop motion looks fabulous. I think the characters, although they don't really have all that much depth to them, I think that in this film's case, being a musical that's, that's more so structured like a stage play more than a movie, I think that like they get away with that a little bit more here, and I do enjoy most of the characters at that. And God, I just think that like the lesson it tells of like, oh well, I made this thing I tried just wasn't like, it didn't end up being for me and I wasn't good at it, but hey, I still gave it a shot, and that's what matters. I think that is a fantastic lesson. And
yes.
And yeah, I still very much like The Nightmare Before Christmas. I just don't adore it like a lot of people do.
Yes, you pretty much nailed it on the head, because of course, just like with myself and Jack, he goes through this obsession because he has grown tired of his holiday about like, oh, the screams and the shouts and from terror of Halloween. And when he discovers Christmas, where it's like the complete opposite, he is so captivated by it that he does get a bit carried away, to put it bluntly, and thinks, hey, why can't I do it? Let's give it a shot. And at the end of the movie, where everything has gone literally tits up, down the rabbit hole, this is what I love about this movie, because I believe, I can't really recall if I heard this from a director's commentary or somewhere, or if Danny Elfman himself mentioned it, where you see many moments where Jack Skellington is feeling down, but somehow he cheers himself up and is like, yeah, you screwed up, but hey, wasn't it awesome? Wasn't it worth it after everything? And it's like, yeah, Christmas isn't your bag, but hey, it gave you great ideas for next Halloween. Like in the last song, well, it's quote unquote titled "What Have I Done" or Jack's Lament. No, wait, it's not Jack's Lament. Jack's Lament is like early on in the movie. I can't remember the title of the song. But it's technically called "What Have I Done" because it's literally after he gets shut down. But
it's
compared to other characters outside of this movie, they're like, okay, yeah, I screwed up. What can you do? But in this case, he is like, okay, I screwed up. Yeah, but it was awesome. Now let's fix this.
Yeah, and it's like it's a very interesting character dynamic, and I think Jack is primarily the reason that I consistently watch and love the film. I love the aesthetic, like the moonlit hill that kind of unfurls, Zero as a dog. Like, I mean, I've played this Kingdom Hearts level so much, and it's still fantastic to this day. I just, nowadays I notice more and more problematic aspects, like the stuff going on with Dr. Finkelstein and Sally, like how he keeps her locked up, and like that at the end of the day,
also known as Dr. Finkelstein in the movie, but for some reason in the video games they call him Finkelstein, and I'm like, no, it's Finkelstein.
But it's Barrettstein. It's pronounced Barrettstein. That's an AVGN episode we have to watch, Zen.
I find that like relationship with his creation a little bit odd. It's resolved better, but like I think it's trying to thematically tie into what Jack's going through. Like, he's trying to force her to be something she isn't. But, like, I don't like Sally's song. I that's the one song I really don't like. I find sometimes the song lyrics a little bit weird. Like, don't get me wrong, Kidnapped to Santa Claus is a fantastic number. But also, when I'm thinking about it, like, as a kid, I was all in it. But I'm just thinking about it now, and I'm just like, none of these things are kidnapping, or like ways to kidnap him. It's like, let's boil him in a pot. Like, he asked for him alive. Like, there's just some things that don't add up about the film. And
they just like to think about death.
And then there's
like to torture.
The scene where he's just trying to find the essence of a Christmas tree, and he's reading all these books, and he still doesn't get Christmas. And I'm like. And so he starts, like, using lab equipment to dissect a bulb of light, and I'm just like, Jack.
It's so good. I love it. He's trying to find, like, an explanation, like a scientific explanation towards, like, why is Christmas so good?
They have the Christmas Carol. You read the Christmas Carol. Like, just come on. The meaning of Christmas is right there.
Yeah, but like,
so it's like
to defend the film a little bit, I will say, like, I think the reason why Jack just doesn't understand Christmas is because like, that's not what his being is. Like, he is a being of terror. He is a being of chaos, in the Halloween sense. And so because his essence is Halloween, you can't expect him to understand Christmas, you know? Like, I think that's what the film's going for.
Yeah,
I do get that, especially with the toys and the way
exactly.
they, like,
I was about to say
that
it's thanks to how they do Christmas Halloween style. He thinks, yes, all of this is gonna be great because you have the snake, you have the Jack in the Box toys, you got the horrific teddy bear and duck, which
hey, I would
Jack
like that duck.
Yeah, they actually sell that duck as a bag, like a shop, not shopping bag, like a typical, like, oh, you put your wallet here kind of bag.
Yeah.
I just love that because, as Phil mentioned, he is a being of Halloween, and him trying to interpret Christmas is going to be very difficult, and he just tries to understand it in his own way, and it's not the correct one.
Yeah.
Aqualan in the chat. First of all, welcome, Aqualan, and thank you for being in the chat. He says, or they say, lol, that was the kids being like, how much can we hurt him while also kidnapping him? Yeah.
Yes, because remember, they are under the employment of Oogie Boogie.
It's Kidnap the Santa Claus is kind of funny to me because like they talk about all these things like we're chopping him into bits, and I'm like, okay, you're trick-or-treaters, it is like mischief night, okay. Don't get me wrong, I love The Nightmare Before Christmas. Like there was the song We Could Live Like Jack and Sally If We Want. Like I used to like really love the aesthetic and the feeling, and I think they really nail what it is to embody Halloween, and Oogie Boogie in general is a fantastic villain, even if he's only there for like a minute. His presence is undeniably the best part of the film.
Yeah.
I just have these nagging little things at the back of my mind every time I watch it now. It's not like The Last Unicorn, where we're talking about beforehand, where I have large problems with the Last Unicorn. Here it's just like little niggling problems, you know?
Yeah. You may not like Sally's song, but I love Sally as a character. She was probably my favorite character in the film. One thing that I don't think Kingdom Hearts really highlighted a whole lot for me was that, because obviously I've had a history with Kingdom Hearts since I was like 7 years old.
Oh,
so
all of us have.
So I've known about The Nightmare Before Christmas like for ages, just because of that game, or because of Kingdom Hearts. Because of Kingdom Hearts 2 specifically, because I didn't play Kingdom Hearts 1 until I was like 11 or so. But yeah, so one thing I don't think the game's highlighted for me is just how like fun Sally can be at sometimes. Like, you know, where it's like, oh, you poisoned me like 3 times, 4 times, and when she just takes
she's a lot of fun.
Yeah, when she gleefully smiles as she takes herself apart and then chucks herself like down to the ground. It's like I think like those bits are a lot of fun. And then there's Zero. Zero's a good boy, and he's not. And he's not in Kingdom Hearts 3, so Kingdom Hearts 3 is the worst game in the series. No.
I know, right?
I said that as a joke, and of course Tifa had to agree with it.
You know that I always want Nightmare Before Christmas to be in every Kingdom Hearts game, but I understand as to why they couldn't like continue, because
yeah, it's like nothing to talk. There's nothing else to do now.
Exactly. Like I completely understand.
I would like
why.
a more fully realized like world. Kingdom Hearts 2 is probably the best they could do with it, and I think Kingdom Hearts 2, at least in that world, utilized the environments better than most of the worlds, because like there's stuff in it, stuff to do.
The fucking pancake world design to Kingdom Hearts 2.
At the very least, they did the best with Nightmare Before Christmas, but like I would like to see a Kingdom Hearts 3 fully realized type of world like that. Maybe Hocus Pocus can have a world and have it be like that.
Yeah, because like Kingdom Hearts 3, like I still like the world design of Kingdom Hearts 1 more, but Kingdom Hearts 3 does so much better when fully realizing the worlds than Kingdom Hearts 2 does.
Oh, Aqua Lantern, yes. I personally have played the 2 quote-unquote prequel and sequel games of The Nightmare Before Christmas. I did play Oogie's Revenge and also Pumpkin King, and they do remixes of all the songs, but some of them just feel so off. Like, for example, they take Making Christmas and turn it into Take Our Town Back, because the premise of the video game is that the kids, Lock, Shock, and Barrel, bring Oogie Boogie back to life so that he can take over Halloween Town and become the 7 Holidays King, because he doesn't just want to take over Halloween Town, he wants to take over all of the holidays because of what happened during the movie. And there are some of the performances of the voice actors, it feels a bit weird. I still love it myself, but the game does have a bit of issues. And if you are interested, I actually recorded a full-on gameplay of the game I believe it was for like a couple years back.
Watch it.
You know what we should do on either as a Bun Plays or like an analysis? We should maybe a midnight combo pack of Oogie's Revenge and Pumpkin King. That would actually be interesting, because I've never played them.
Pumpkin King is a Game Boy Advance game.
I could still make do. I mean,
I
don't know if I'd be able to.
You can emulate a Game Boy Advance on a potato. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it probably not a bun play, but like Midnight Combo Pack would probably work.
Midnight Combo Pack down the line. We have plans for Midnight Combo Pack at the moment, but down the line, that would be a really nice combo for Midnight Combo Pack.
And compared to the two of you, I played Kingdom Hearts because when I was interested on the box art one day when I was at Target and asked the clerk to, hey, can I see the box, because it was behind the glass door, and they let me see the box art, and I was like, huh, Donald and Goofy with these 3 kids, okay. I flipped the box over and I see Jack Skellington on it, and I'm like, mom and it was the reason as to why I got my PlayStation 2. It was the sole reason I got myself a PlayStation 2.
Fun fact, the reason why I got Kingdom Hearts 2 in the first place was because we were at EB Games, which is like the main place where we get video games here.
EB Games.
Well, no, EB Games is still here in Australia.
I haven't seen one in the States. Sorry.
Gotcha,
the States, it's defunct. It was bought out by GameStop, which is now wretched.
Fuck GameStop. But like, so we still have EB Games here in Australia. And one day, my brother and I go to EB Games, and I was looking for, because basically we got to buy one game a piece. My parents were going to buy us one game a piece. And I was looking for a replacement Yu-Gi-Oh game, because my, the Yu-Gi-Oh game I had at the time, which was the Capsule Monsters Coliseum, that game had unfortunately stopped working. The disc was scratched to hell. It wasn't working anymore. So my mom was like, all right, if you can find a Yu-Gi-Oh game, go find a Yu-Gi-Oh game. And what I found was Duelist of the Rose. So while I was looking for Capsule Monsters Coliseum to repurchase it, I was like, you know what, let's get Duelist of the Rose instead. But another game I had seen was Jak 2. And so I was like, oh my god, because like one of the first PS2 games I ever got was Jak and Daxter. So I was like, Mom, give me Jak 2, give me Jak 2. And she's like, you already got your game. And I was like, okay. Marco, who's my brother, I'm like, give me Jak 2, give me Jak 2. And what he got instead was Kingdom Hearts 2. Because he was a 4-year-old who saw Disney on the box art, and he was like, I'm gonna get the game with a Mickey Mouse on it. And I was like, you betrayed me, Marco. You betrayed me.
And granted, they're both good, but
yeah,
history was made.
And so we brought it home. And we saw the opening cinematic, which was like, what the hell? Like, it was all what the hell, because it's like, who are these anime kids? What is all this that's happening? Oh, we're really invested in it, though. And then a week later, having seen us play the game, my mom was like, this seems really weird. This isn't really Disney. Because at that point, we hadn't gotten past the Roxas tutorial. And so she's like, this seems really weird and not really Disney-like. I should probably take it back. And so me and my brother were like, no, don't take it back. Don't take it back. We're really having fun with it. And my mom was like, all right, I guess that's that. And so I have a lot of nostalgia for the Roxas tutorial as a result. But that's us getting into Kingdom Hearts. And
one final thing I want to say in that regard, and so we can kind of end it on this note, because I saw the trailers for the original Kingdom Hearts, and I was reading Game Informer for the Kingdom Hearts 2, and seeing Nightmare Before Christmas in Game Informer, RIP, and seeing it in these commercials, it was so big to me. And like, I was so into it that I really need to play this game. And while I see some of the cracks in the seams with Nightmare Before Christmas now, I still enjoy that special, and I still think the fact that it spawned these really wondrous worlds, and like, they don't feel any alien to Kingdom Hearts. Some stages in Kingdom Hearts could feel weird, but like, it fits so well. Like, I am forever thankful for that, because it gives us all these things that, asking what a heart is, perfect fits in for Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 2, you meet Santa. So it's like, for whatever Nightmare Before Christmas does wrong, it gave us this, and I'll forever be thankful for that.
Aqualanan in the chat, it's like, I started with Chain of Memories. It's like, damn.
Oh, that's a little bit rough. I love Chain of Memories on the GBA. I do not like it on the PlayStation.
I still have to play the GBA.
I love it on both.
It's my opinion.
I love it on both.
I love
it on both.
Also, Fruity, welcome into the chat, Fruity, and he's like, hell yes, Duelist of the Rose. Duelist of the Rose was fun. I liked it. But yeah.
What what was I gonna say? Okay. To also wrap up with the Kingdom Hearts talk, I do not like how the lesson in Kingdom Hearts 2 regarding the Nightmare Before Christmas was handled, because Santa pretty much says, "Hey, your thing is Halloween. My thing is Christmas. Don't try to do anything new. Stick to what you know." And I was like,
That, yeah.
No. Stick to the stuff you know.
Stick
Because
to
in
the
the
status
movie,
quo.
it's because in the movie it's like, hey, you can try new things, and even if you fail at them, at least you gave it a shot.
Mhm.
I
And
will
that's
say
good.
that like the game didn't have a super great message, but it's so cool when he's just like, I met Santa and you're on the nice list, and I'm
Yeah.
like, Sora met Santa. It's the cutest thing.
It's
He's
really
not on the
cute.
nice list because Riku told him that
Well,
he
no,
doesn't.
no,
he's not
no.
real.
Santa did not say that he was not on the nice list. He said that just
Oh, sorry, yeah.
yeah. If I remember correctly, you don't believe in Santa Claus, and it's like that's
Yeah, that's the one.
and so he's basically Santa's basically just like pulling his leg basically. That was always that weird translation of the Japanese script. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But with that said, do we want to move on to our next film?
Almost.
I'm ready, but I'm gonna let Tifa finish off because there's a lot to talk about with this one.
It is her favorite film.
Yeah. Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas will always hold a very special place in my heart, and I understand when people say that, yeah, it's a good movie, but it's not great. But for me, it will always be great because of its importance in my life. It also just pretty much changed my brain chemistry without me realizing it, and I will always adore this movie, even with its flaws. But I do recognize that it has certain flaws, especially the not so good ones. Directed to Oogie Boogie, ouch. But we're not gonna talk about that at the moment. I had planned originally to make a 30th anniversary video last year, but unfortunately, because of drama on my end, it did affect me a bit mentally, and it did deplete my energy. So I did not work on said video.
35th
hopefully
anniversary.
Yeah, I could hopefully make it for the 31st anniversary.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I'm gonna wait until the 35th.
But first you gotta edit Danganronpa 2 for us, right, Tifa? With that,
For those wondering, Danganronpa 2, I finished recording up to chapter 5. Chapter 6 is starting tomorrow.
Yeah, Tifa will be getting to work very, very, very soon on her bits for Danganronpa 2, because me and her are basically splitting priorities on that, where she's gonna edit up to the end of chapter 4. I'm gonna edit from chapter 5 and onwards, because Zen freaking spent 30 pages on chapter 6, and I'm like, god damn it, Zen. But you know,
chapter 6 is too big.
Yeah,
it's too big, but also like there's a lot more than just chapter 6 and chapter.
We kept saying like, oh, this part should be like less straightforward. This part should be less or more straightforward. And then it's like, oh, chapter 6 ended up being 30 pages. Whoops. But anyway, let us move on to the next film on the list. And it's gonna be a depressing one, because let's talk about Pan's Labyrinth. Tifa, what do you got to say?
El Labyrinth de Fauna.
El Laberinto del Fauno. What I consider to be Guillermo del Toro's magnum freaking opus.
Yeah, I don't think you're the only one on that. I think Del Toro himself will probably say that as well.
I love this movie. It's very difficult for me to even try to vocalize as to why. It just like with Nightmare Before Christmas, this movie changed my brain chemistry with how films can be, how it can affect you, how it can pretty much beat you to a pulp, but at the same time pick you up and tell you, no matter the hardships, you can still find a reason to live, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. This is...
So, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
This is such a good film. Like, I'll let you go ahead first then, but I will say, it's probably like by far the best film out of these four, especially because like Del Toro spent like 15 years working on it, like showing it to colleagues, showing it to friends, showing it to family, like just the scripts and his concepts and stuff like that. He didn't want to go into production for this film until like he knew he had like as perfect of a script that he could possibly make.
Yes.
And yeah, I think he delivered. This film rocks, man. And it's probably not gonna be the last time we talk about it. I'm probably gonna hold back on some of the things I want to say about it because like I know Tifa wants to talk about like other films from Del Toro like down the line, and like we'll probably include Pan's Labyrinth in along with those as well. So it's like yeah, but like Zen, what do you got to say here?
And I definitely want to do like a video on it at some point. This is up there in terms of our four films. It might be top, but like Rise is also very good and makes me feel a different way.
I mean, Rise of the Guardians is a very good family film. It's just that I feel like overall this is like the best film, just structurally top to bottom.
Like I said, I hadn't seen it. The only scene that I had witnessed beforehand was like the start of, okay, you got to go into the food scene, the banquet, and like all to the end of when they get rid of the mandrake root. And so like that was the only thing I had seen beforehand. But like just watching it now, the thing that is both good and bad about it for me is like it is brutal. It is brutally honest. It holds no bars, and it is a little bit depressing. So that not like I have trouble putting it over Rise in that regard, but like it's just so fantastic in so many ways. Cinematography, lighting, camera work, practical effects, the themes, the ideas, the way it works. To kind of give a basic summation for anyone who hasn't seen Pan's Labyrinth, it is about a young girl who is moving with her pregnant mother, who had remarried to an officer during the what is the period known as?
It's during a type of civil war in Spain during Franco Spain.
Franco.
Franco. The film is also situated around the Second World War because they name drop Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Yeah, so it's like if they're not exactly Nazis, but they operate in the same way. And like I tried to look up history. They didn't participate in World War II, but they had some similar policies. So the mother who is pregnant has remarried this general in this completely fascist army. And
Capitan Vidal.
El Capitan Vidal, and he's brutal. Like he sees people like going out and searching for
rabbits,
hunting for rabbits.
Yeah,
for rabbits, and he just kills them because they're not. They're so insistent about it, and they keep interrupting him. And
it's not even that they were. It's not even that they like he doesn't believe them. It's that they freaking like were so like they were interrupting him. They were like insistent about about all of it. Like he basically saw what they were saying as an insult to him, and so he just kills them for insulting him. Just period like that. And he checks their bags properly. And it's like, yeah, that was kind of a waste of a kill. And it's like.
Yeah,
but he's like, also like next time check their backs properly.
And like he first kills the son of the two because it's an old man and his son hunting rabbits because they want to feed their family. And with the young man, he just smashes his face over and over with a freaking bottle. And it's like it doesn't move. Like the camera does not move away. It's like, no, you're gonna watch this. You're gonna see that this is fucking real.
It is a brutal film in that regard. And so like you're brought in, you see how awful a person he is, and the mother is just like, you just gotta, you know, get used to this new life because this is how we are now. The mother's sick, and she the daughter just uses it as a way to escape. She's always reading her books, and it keeps intercutting with
Yeah, the
a fantasy
fantastical world
landscape.
start to like bleed into the real world, because that's her coping mechanism in some ways. Like the beginning of the movie, when before they reach the like where they're gonna live, like this little not, I don't want to call it a settlement, but it's like this old building with a mill where the labyrinth is located. Throughout the movie you see like those moments where the fantastical world is bleeding into the reality, and this is the first moment where it starts, where they stop, and Ophelia, the little girl, she sees like this statue with a missing eye, and she finds the piece of fallen of the statue and puts it back in its place, and you start hearing the little noise of this stick bug looking creature that has wings, and she interprets it as a fairy. That's when things start. Yeah, one of the fae.
And a large portion of the movie is juxtaposing the brutal reality of what is going on. Her mother, like, struggling with this pregnancy, bleeding, dying. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff in that regard. With the fantasy world, where she is supposed to be a princess of the fantasy realm that has been bound into mortal flesh. So, like, the beauty to me is that it is ambiguous whether or not any of this is actually real, if she's just coping or whatnot. But even still, while the thematic nature of it is there, it shows the duality of stuff. So, like, there's a scene in the middle of the film where she uses a chalk to go in, and she sees a banquet, and she's not supposed to eat anything at the banquet, because if she does, the monster, the Pale Man, is going to eat her. And it's all about how rich people hoard their wealth, and it's juxtaposed from an earlier scene in the film where she doesn't go to the banquet because she isn't allowed any food because she's dirty, and everyone at the banquet is gorging themselves, and even the priest is just like, well, you know, the people are going to be forgiven their sins and death, so you can kill them. And it's just like, it shows the duality there, and I love it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of duality throughout the movie, and Guillermo made it like very clear.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, because again, there's a lot of points that we'll probably say for a later time, but for this stream in particular, I want to ask you two, and I already know Zen's answer. I want to hear your answer as well, Tifa, though. Which way do you guys swing? Do you say that that Ophelia is like imagining this all? Do you think it's all real, or are you somewhere in between?
I am in the in between, because I have like, it's this hope in me that there might be something good out there despite all of the cruelty. It's one of the reasons as to why I love this movie so much, because it's like, even amongst the cruelty, there's that little sliver of hope.
Yeah, I'm mostly in the position where I think that she's imagining the place. However, I do lean a little bit into like the, you know, the in-between side, the take that you've just given, where I do think that, well, because basically what I see, and like big massive spoiler alerts, if in case you haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth, although if you haven't, then like yeah, this is probably not the best place to be at the moment. Maybe just mute for the
clock out if you don't want
okay, maybe just mute for like the next 15 minutes or so, and then, because I want you guys to be here for the rest of the stream, of course. We'll probably have timestamps after it's all over, but massive spoiler alerts. The film begins with you see Ophelia lying on the ground, blood coming out of her nose, and you go into her eye as you see like a bunch of like the mystical fairy tale aspects that we're going to be seeing. Hi Eliza, how are you going? Sorry, Eliza's in the chat now. And the film ends right back where we began, with Ophelia dying. And I feel like in her final moments, her seeing that like, oh, she properly becomes Princess Moana and she goes over to like, you know, take her seat on the throne like amongst royalty. I think that that's basically her finishing the story in her head to be like, hey, you know, I'm going to a better place now. Because obviously, like, what she says in her mind, what is told to her is like, you know, only in death can you properly like cross over to the other side. And I feel like she basically made that up to like cope with her having died here basically. And so she's probably going over to the other side, but her basically being like, okay, I'm going to a better place now. And I do think she is going to a better place. It's just not like, I just don't think that her imaginary world of, okay, this is, you know, she's this princess and like that's a part of royalty. Like, I don't think that it's like legit. I just think that, you know, this is her hope for going on to like a better place than what she's been saddled with in her mortal life. And I do think that she will be, even if it's not what we have been presented in the film. And, you know, I think that there is some nice hope to glean from that, while also being like, you know, a big tragedy that, you know, she basically had to create this world in her mind to escape from the real shittiness that is going on in her life. But that's just me. That's why I think. Zen, what about you?
I mean, that's a valid reading. And I do understand Tifa's reading of, like, you know, certain things are fantasy, certain things aren't. I think it's all real. And it's not just how the film's presented, it's just that we see near the end that all of her actions, all the stuff that she has done, have a tangible effect on the real world. And they say in the beginning and end of the film that she is a reincarnation of a Fae princess that was bound in mortal flesh. And by doing these 3 acts, she is allowed to prove that she's worthy, like helping nature continue to grow, making sure that you know, trying to resist taking from greed, and sparing the life of her brother. And
sparing the life of an innocent.
Yeah, and so when she ends up dying, and it's not of her choice, like she shot, when she ends up dying, she proves that she is a good person, and she kind of goes there. Now, there is a disconnect between the way the Fawn is presented in the real world versus the Fae world, and some could read that as, oh, maybe this is just her imagining a dream. But I feel like the Fawn was like more of a test, and I feel like this, if she had left her mortal coil, she went to the realm where she was supposed to go. Is it real or not? Doesn't matter, because she's still going to the place and left a good mark on the world. That's my take.
I totally get that. I feel like one big thing I want to say about Pan's Labyrinth is because when a film usually does this, where it's like, oh, it's very ambiguous, not just a film, but like show, movie, game, whatever. It's like, I feel like whenever a plot does this thing where it's like, okay, well, this aspect of the plot is left ambiguous. You know, we don't know whether this is the truth or if this is the truth. And it's like, that's fine to do. It's a very, understandable thing to do, because like it allows for a lot of different interpretations. And like, you know, in concept, having an ambiguous plot element is really, it's like really cool. It strengthens your film. A lot of the time, a problem I notice with a lot of stories is that because they have left something very ambiguous in their plot, the issue then comes, well, okay, when you look at the film from these different perspectives, does it hold up no matter which perspective you take on the film? And not only that, but is there enough plot in the film itself, and enough characterization and enough execution on the themes to support these varying different interpretations of the film? And that's where a lot of like kind of vagueness and a lot of plots falls apart for me, and is that when you look at a film one way, it might work very well, but if you look at it this other way, that's where it just kind of falls apart a lot of the time. Whereas in Pan's Labyrinth, Del Toro does a really good job of just strengthening these characters and the narrative and the themes that he's executing upon. He does such a good job executing every aspect of them to make it so that no matter which way you go on, is this real, is it not real, like, the film backs it up really well. And I gotta commend Del Toro for that, because when I think about it, okay, well, if all the stuff that's happening to her is real, if all this, like, if the Labyrinth itself is real, if the Feywild is real, if all that, like, is all real, does the film hold up? And I think it absolutely does. If I look at it from the perspective that I look at, and it's, like, all imaginary, it holds up just as well. And I gotta commend Del Toro for that, because not a lot of filmmakers can pull that off as well. And he does just a phenomenal job with it, like, in the final product.
One thing I do want to bring up, actually two things, but they are related. Like, first of all, this film is entirely in Spanish. You have to get you have to get subtitles. And sometimes my attention span wanders with subtitles. I always have to have them on when I'm watching something because I have a hearing thing. Where if there's multiple things I kind of don't pay attention. But with this, my attention never wavered, and I think a lot of it is just the worlds that he creates. The colors are so pronounced, and even though it has like a muted color palette in the real world compared to the fantasy world, it's not dull. It's not like where some games and some films, like, they're just brown and blue and dreary, and here it's dreary, but it stands out, and it's like every single scene drew me in to the point where, like, I wanted to see more. I wanted to know more. Yeah, you get like
these teals for the real world, and then you have like these gold and browns for the fantastical world, because you can see it as especially with, for example, when Ophelia does her tasks. Like, the first one with the frog, you see that there's more of this like earthy golden hue when she goes to face the frog compared to when she gets out of it, and it's like a very dreary teal. And then with the Pale Man as well, it's nighttime and it's a very dark teal in the real world, and you see all of the golden colors in the Pale Man's realm. Even when it's the end of the movie, you see like the fire engulfing the mill because of the guerrilleros fighting against the Capitan Vidal. It's a golden light overcoming the dark teal, and that's like Guillermo's go-to colors for chiaroscuro. It's like his thing.
Yeah,
you see it a lot in his movies.
I will say, just, this is one of the best looking movies I've ever seen in my life. Like, they really pack the entire thing with just amazing cinematography, amazing coloring. Like, I struggle to
amazing cast.
I struggle to think of anything wrong with the film, honestly. This is like, honestly, just as near to a perfect movie that as he could have made. Like, it's so good. I like Elisa in the chat. She says, to be fair, showcasing the characters and giving multiple ways to view how a character and their motivation and perspective is a staple of Del Toro. Yeah, I can't wait to watch more of his films. I think the only ones I've really seen are this, and then a little bit of Blade 2, although I have not seen all of Blade 2.
Have you seen Hellboy at all?
Well, actually, no. Okay, never mind. Yeah, three films. I've seen the first Hellboy.
Hellboy is so good.
Also, a little bit of trivia with Pan's Labyrinth. Of course, Doug Jones, Guillermo's bestie. He does portray the Pale Man and the Fawn. He tried to, of course, do his performance speaking Spanish as the Fawn, but he had to be dubbed over, which, there's no problem there. Also, that for you Guillermo del Toro fans, I was gonna say fangirlies, but I'm like, no, there's the non-binies, the girlies, and the boys. It's not like shown, but it's like a neat little Easter egg where there's like a segment where it's like during a very not too rainy scene in the forest where Capitan Vidal and his soldiers are fighting against the guerrilleros, and he's just shooting people like left and right, just like, you're on the ground, shoot.
Mhm.
Blah, blah, blah. And then he meets up with this one boy who is bleeding out from, I can't recall if it's like his neck or somewhere near his face. And the captain is like ready to shoot him and puts like his gun next to the boy's face. And the boy just puts his hand over him, over his gun, and the captain just like swipes it away. The hand gets over the gun again. It happens like maybe twice or three times, I cannot recall, before the captain shoots him. That boy, alongside the one that died next to him, are if I'm correct from what I recall, those are the same two actors who portrayed Carlos and Jaime from The Devil's Backbone, another one of my
Nice.
favorites from Guillermo.
Nice. As in nice.
Yeah,
I
and
also,
it's just
like-
a tiny little Easter egg.
little fun fact. Del Toro has spent like maybe about like 2 decades at this point, where he's been trying to do a Justice League Dark film. And if you don't know what Justice League Dark is, it's basically a team of like more as the title suggests, like darker members of the DC universe who deal more with like the supernatural side of things. The characters like John Constantine, Zatanna, Swamp Thing, like those kind of characters. And he's been trying to do a Justice League Dark film for ages, and DC hasn't gone through with it. And it's like, what's wrong with you, DC?
I mean,
I want to see
do...
Guillermo's haunted mansion.
Me too. Like, I was about to say that. Like, he had it clocked in with Norman Reedus, which, hey, it's thanks to Guillermo hiring Norman Reedus for Blade 2 that Norman Reedus got to act. That he wanted to do his own Haunted Mansion movie based off of Disney property because he's such a big fan of the Disney ride.
Yeah.
But Disney was like, yeah, we don't know. He was going to do it under his company, Double Dare You. But unfortunately, things didn't fall through. And so Guillermo, being Guillermo, he's like, I'm going to make my own Haunted Mansion movie with Tom Hiddleston's butt. And he did. He got Tom Hiddleston, which he, like, funnily nicknames Hiddly-Dee, Hiddly-Doo. You can find a video of him doing that. You can find a video of him doing that. And that was his response. He made Crimson Peak, his Haunted Mansion movie, which is a great film.
I need to see that.
Please do,
but,
please do.
Yeah,
Pan's Labyrinth just has so much going for it. Like the little creaking whenever the fawn moves, the little the world, the way the practical effects work. Just watch Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah,
be in a happy mood when you do, but just watch Pan's.
Yeah, watch it as a double feature and have something happy as the second film, because you know it's very much a downer. But I very much want to see more of Guillermo's fucking I'm my free Caucasian ass coming out there. Guillermo's filmography I want to see a lot more of. Like I want to watch his Pinocchio film, which came out like almost 2 years from now. I want to watch Shape of Water. I want to watch Crimson Peak. I still haven't seen Pacific Rim. Actually, that's another film I want to see.
Nightmare Alley is also a very good one. Nightmare Alley is also another good one.
But yeah, I very much want to see a bunch more of his films. But do you guys have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I wanted to mention a little bit of my history with this movie. Okay, so my sister unfortunately passed away in June of 2006, and this movie came out around November, if I'm correct, of the same year.
Yeah.
And the first thing that caught my attention was the poster. It's not the one that's on screen right now. It's the other one where you see the fawn like fully on display, and bits of pieces of the labyrinth on the sides. It's not the teal one where he's hugging Ophelia. It's a different one. Okay. Nor is it the Mike Mignola profile one, because Mike Mignola also besties with Guillermo. I mean, come on, he did Hellboy. He did like a promotional poster for Pan's Labyrinth. I saw that poster and I was immediately captivated by it. I did not know what it was. I just had the title, El Laberinto del Fauno. That was the only thing I had. And then at school, I overheard somebody who went to see it by showing his ticket stubs. And I was like, wait a minute, it's out now? Oh my God. Because I cannot remember when I saw the poster. I cannot recall. But it was after my sister passed away. And so I went in without knowing anything about the movie except for like this one English dubbed trailer, which is very like mystifying, very like vague, but at the same time showing you bits and pieces of the movie, which I still have like the trailer is playing in my head right now.
I'm sorry, there was a I'm sorry, I was under the impression that Pan's Labyrinth wasn't dubbed.
No, it's not dubbed. Like the trailer had like an English narration.
I
sorry
see
if I miscommunicated.
No, it's all good. Also, Aqua Lantern in the chat, like double feature of Pan's Labyrinth and Alice in Wonderland. Which Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, which one? So I went to see the movie with barely a semblance of what it was about, and like I mentioned early on, this movie destroyed me. This movie beat me to a pulp. It had me crying my eyes out. But at the same time, it helped me because I said this was after my sister passed away, and it felt like therapy, if that makes any sense. A weird form of therapy, but therapy nonetheless. It helped me like take out my grievances that were still left over. And
if I remember
this movie, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No. So sorry to interrupt you. I was gonna say, like, if I remember from like when we had talked about it in the past, like, wasn't it like this and Kingdom Hearts 2 that helped you?
Kingdom Hearts 2. I remember it was partially also therapy because my sister, unfortunately, she was only alive when I was. I could barely make it to maybe the first week, you know, the Roxas 7 days. And she never had the chance to watch the rest of the game.
Damn.
Like, it was only that, and then she passed away. So that's another reason as to why I love Kingdom Hearts 2. It's also part of my therapy for when my sister passed away in 2006. And with Pan's Labyrinth, it felt like that. It felt like it ripped out my heart, destroyed my soul, but at the same time healed me. It's a very weird concept to explain it.
It gives hope at the end. It's brutal, it's dark, but it gives hope.
Yeah.
I went to see that movie at least 6 times at the theater.
Damn.
And that's no joke.
Like, including re-releases?
No, I only watched it when it was the first release. I do not recall ever seeing a re-release.
Huh. God, but like, yeah.
And thanks to one of our friends when we were doing like the Secret Santa thing about like, hey, like we had our wish list on Amazon and Throne. It was one of our friends, I believe it was Ariel, who got me the Criterion edition of Pan's Labyrinth because I have the original like English DVD.
I need to own it now because it was so good.
I love it. I even had the soundtrack on CD. I even had it, and I burned and I played it ad nauseum on my Walkman at the time. And the lullaby of the movie just had me crying because it brought me so many emotions.
Yeah.
And fun fact, Guillermo did not want an English dubbed track for this movie. He's like, no, people are gonna misinterpret my my message of the movie. If you dub it, fuck you. Only subtitles. Only subtitles, motherfucker.
If there's anything to take away from this stream, you know, we're about to move on to our final movie, but if there's anything to take away from the stream, watch Pan's Labyrinth. If you haven't seen it in years, watch it again. It is a really, really damn good film. I can't wait to watch it for an eventual Guillermo del Toro block of films for the Backslog that we'll probably do down the line. I can't wait to watch it.
You need to have me attached to it because I am the Guillermo del Toro fan.
You're a co-host on this podcast, Tifa. Of course you're going to be there.
You haven't missed an episode
and,
so far.
I can't wait to for Zen for you when you eventually do a video on this, and we'll probably have Tifa collab on that because of course we will. But yeah.
I just want my goal is to make Tifa, show up and say stuff on my show because, she needs to get out the thoughts that are in her head. So.
Yeah, Aqualanta did say the animated Disney one. Okay, good. I was gonna say if you're gonna say the Tim Burton movie, Get Out, and I'm a defender of that film. I think it's a fun watch, but like
I am a defender of that movie too, and not to mention the Danny Elfman score, which is amazing. Also, Javier Navarrete's score in Pan's Labyrinth, freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Just please listen to it.
And with that said, are you guys ready to move on to our final film?
Yep.
Okie dokie.
Something happy.
For our last film, something happy, we are going to talk about Rise of the Guardians, the DreamWorks film from 2012. Fun fact, this is, so basically, as part of my primary school, what am I talking about? As part of my primary school, during the final 2 years, grade 5 and grade 6, there is like near the end of the year, like when we're wrapping up and like getting to the final few weeks, the top 2 grades, those being grade 5 and grade 6, they get brought by the teachers to go watch a film. We go to the theaters and we watch a movie, and for the year beforehand, for 2011, it was Puss in Boots. For 2012, it was Rise of the Guardians. So I ended up seeing this film in theaters because of my primary school. And yeah, I had a ball watching this film then, and it's a fun time whenever I rewatch it now, because Rise of the Guardians is such a good movie. It's one of DreamWorks' best. It's one of their most underrated films, because when you talk about like all of their films, when you talk about all their films, people will focus on How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, all the franchise films, all the films that would like spawn franchises. You don't hear people talk about Rise of the Guardians nearly as often, and that's a shame, because it's honestly one of their better films.
It's a fantastical film that when the first teaser trailer dropped, I was watching it and like no joke, I was crying. I was like, what the hell? The music, the freaking like the shots of like the different characters that represent like the different not necessarily like all of the holidays, but like represent like these different aspects of childhood. And the music, like I think I already mentioned the music, I don't know, but I still have like the trailer in my head of the teaser, and like it did bring a tear to my eye, and I was like, okay, this movie feels special. I cannot miss it. And this was way before Jack Frost was even in the picture. Like, and also, I before this movie even like the concept of the teaser came out, I used to stalk Wikipedia for like the future projects of like companies like Pixar. I learned about the Bear and the Bow, which turned out to be Brave, and also this one where I just read the concept of it, like, oh, Santa, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, and the Sandman get Jack Frost to join their side or whatever to fight off against Pitch Black, who is the boogeyman, to try to like take over like and bring darkness. And that was the only concept I had in my head, and I was like, this sounds weird. I bet it's just gonna be for babies, something similar to like Boss Baby, speaking of. But it wasn't until the teaser came out, and I'm like, this was what that like portion of text on Wikipedia about? And
yeah, I will say the Wikipedia thing is something I do like even now, where I'll look at like the MCU films page on Wikipedia, the Walt Disney Animation Studios films on Wikipedia, and my cousins are like, how do you know all these things about like films that are coming out like years from now? I'm like, I look at Wikipedia.
I used to do that, not anymore, unfortunately, unless they announce it at like cons or something. And of course, this film is based off William Joyce's books of the Guardians of Childhood, which, fun fact, this movie was being developed alongside the books, because William Joyce just had this idea thanks to his daughter, which the movie is dedicated to, because unfortunately his daughter passed away because of cancer before the movie even came out. like the daughter, Catherine, which you can easily like pinpoint from the character Catherine in the books, and also I think it's also Catherine in the Epic movie, based off of also William Joyce's books of the Leafman, which is a Blue Sky movie.
Yeah.
So she just came up to her father and said, like, do you think that Santa and the Easter Bunny are friends, or do they know each other? That was the freaking catalyst that brought this movie and the books to life, because of that little question.
Damn, yeah.
I love this movie so much because of so many elements. Of course, Pan's Labyrinth is going to be number one alongside Nightmare, but Rise of the Guardians is like so close because it felt very different from your usual DreamWorks movie. They took a chance, and in my opinion, they succeeded. Even though the box office says otherwise, which it sucks because after the release of this movie, they let go a lot of employees.
Yeah, and you look at DreamWorks' release schedule after this movie came out, and stuff like The Croods and
Boss Baby.
Boss Baby was a couple of years afterwards, but there was also like Turbo, you know, the film about the freaking snail go fast, good movie pitch. Like, it's, yeah.
With these Latinos making white ass tacos.
Yeah. I also love in the chat, Fruity was basically like, this started a lot of shipping wars, and it's like, yeah, I remember the Elsa and Jack Frost stuff. Oh god.
It was difficult to get away from.
But yeah, Zen's muted at the moment. But when Zen comes back, we'll ask her thoughts.
The Croods is good, Aqua. I just saw your comment, Aqua. I like the Croods. I think it's good.
I don't remember liking it all that much when I saw it, but I saw it like ages ago. So like I gotta watch it again, you know. So because I don't have a good mindset about that movie because I gotta rewatch it. But I will also say little note, and this is very immature, but like I didn't know, like maybe like this bit just skimmed over my mind, or like maybe, you know, like I just didn't realize. I can't remember why, but I didn't realize that the name of the main villain was Pitch Black. You know, I just knew him as the Boogeyman. And so, but I didn't realize his name was Pitch Black. So whenever they called him Pitch, I was just like, are they calling him a bitch? What the? Why are they saying? Why are they saying that?
Like. Also, for anybody in the chat, Pitch Black, husband.
Of course.
Yes, he was like one of the first characters that I said that, yeah, he's like one of my type, and I was like, even back in the teaser, I'm like, oh my. Voiced by Jude Law, which I'm like, hello, hi. So, a quick recap on the movie.
Are you back, Zen?
It looks like she's muted.
Still muted.
Yeah, so in this world, of course, in the real world, we have like these different mythological characters that like take care of like each and everyone's like different aspects of childhood, which represent like either a holiday or just some like a concept. Like, for example, you have Nicholas Saint North, which is of course our Russian Santa. He takes care of children's dreams. No, not dreams. Sorry. Their wonder. That's what I was mistaking it for. Sorry. Children's wonder. You have the Sandman, Sanderson Man Snoozy, who takes care of children's dreams. Toothiana, who is the Tooth Fairy. She takes care, of course, the children's teeth, which holds their most precious memories of childhood. And then you have
a bunny. I'm a bunny.
I was waiting for you to freaking jump in with Aster Bunnymon.
Jump in, ha ha ha. Zen, give your thoughts on the movie.
Yeah, sorry, I had to step away for a second. But like I had watched this because I was helping Tifa with a script she was doing on the film. It really intrigued me, and I'm like, you know what? She really wants me to watch it. So I decided to do it as part of my Guardians of the Galaxy marathon,
Yeah.
where I watched all the Guardians of the Galaxy, then Guardians of the Gahul, and then Rise of the Guardians. And this was by far the best film. And I'm gonna be honest,
Well, at least
Pan's Labyrinth is a perfect.
so I was just gonna say, at least comparing it to Guardians of Gahul, it's a better movie. I wouldn't say it's better than Guardians 2 or 3.
I would say it's up there. But when it comes to this marathon that we're doing, the films that we're talking about right now, well, Pan's Labyrinth is a perfect film. I like this just a little bit more, ever so slightly, just because of the sense of wonder it has.
Yes,
This is
thank
a film that gave me chills, and it wasn't just the first time watching it. I watched it again recently, and I still get chills watching it because of how it's not just about whimsy. It's all about childlike wonder and showcasing how you can still have that in your life when you're an adult, and how this, these things, these figures, they're funny, they're fun, but they also have like serious themes and stuff behind them, and every scene that like you think is just going nowhere ties into a thematic element of what each of them represent: hope, new beginnings, memories, wonder, dreams, these things that are important. And then when we find out what Jack Frost's center is and what it means, but it's just the music, the atmosphere, the way it's animated, the way it like showcases. Honestly, the first line of the movie is just like the first thing I remember, and it's like it opens up so good, and then you see his backstory. Like, this makes me sob, it makes me cry, but it gives me such hope. It's such joy, and that's why I love it more. Like, yeah, it's not like something like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It is better in that regard because it is so good, but like Rise of the Guardians just brings me back to being a kid, where like everything about the world held meaning and wonder, and it reinvigorates. It's like, yes, hunting eggs can be silly and childish and whatnot, but it has a meaning. And they have these, you have Hugh Jackman going up and saying, "I'm a bunny."
This film is really fun. This film is like really funny. Like, I like when they make a competition out of like gathering the most teeth, and Santa just like has like this big laugh about it to himself, like just like having won the entire thing. It's really fun.
Oh,
Also, when he becomes Small Bunny, he's so cute.
I was hoping for you to reach that scene when you were watching, and I'm like, yeah, she's gonna watch the bunny.
I'm gonna let you go, but like, this film means so much to me as someone who had to, I had a lot of my childhood feels like it was taken away from me because of my transition, and I didn't get to experience it. But like, this speaks to my childhood. The thing that I want to take away is that as an adult you can still inspire and still have that childlike wonder, and it's great. Back to you guys.
Yeah.
Apologies, I had to do something real quick for Mom.
It's all good.
Yeah. Before you jumped in earlier, I was explaining a little bit of like the concept of the movie, which of course, like we were all mentioning, that each of these characters represents something of childhood. How Nicholas A. North is wonder, Tuthiana is memories, Sanderson Mansnoozy is dreams, and E. Aster Bunnymund is of course hope. And each of them have like their little moment where the audience insert Jack Frost, he gets explained as to why it's important to have all of these aspects. I still remember that, just like you, Zen, I was crying at the beginning of the movie, like just the first notes where we see Jack Frost being born from the icy lake. Oh, sorry, I was kind of running.
All good,
I
all
need
good.
to catch my breath.
Catch your breath, Tifa.
No, but
And
you're
then-
a bunny. You gotta
yeah.
go fast, like Sonic. You
then
gotta
we
go
go-
fast.
And then we jump forward where, of course, we have the man in the moon, or the man on the moon, depending on like the adaptation, whether it's the books, whether it's the movie. He has a whole backstory in the books, but it doesn't get fleshed out here. But it doesn't matter. And how Jack Frost is chosen to become the fifth guardian due to Pitch Black appearing after so long and posing a threat, which the guardians don't know what it is until Pitch starts making a move.
Mhm.
And each and every one of these characters explains their center, and that's part of like the core of the movie. Like, what is your center alongside like the different aspects of childhood? With Jack Frost, he learns it until the end of the movie about what his center is, as to why he was chosen to become a guardian for all of the children of the world. Also, sorry, I just want to gush about Pitch Black, even though like he has he does have
Pitch
development, but it's mostly explained in the books.
Bitch Black.
Yeah, Pitch Black, my husband.
Yeah, you missed that Zen, but
The
basically,
boogeyman.
you missed that Zen, but basically, when I saw the film for the first time, I missed the fact that his name was Pitch Black. You know, I just referred to him as the boogeyman. So that when they were saying like, oh, we have to stop Pitch, I was just like, are they calling him a bitch? Like, why are they saying
No,
that?
no,
You
no.
know
What
that
you don't
this movie is a
understand,
PG
Phil,
movie.
it's like Killer Bean, where he's like beach.
Hero, Beach
Oh my
continues to
God.
dance.
Oh god. And one of the aspects that made me like feel for Jack in this movie, even though he's not my favorite character, but he's close, but it's because of, you know, how many young girlies out there, non-binies as well, or maybe like
Mhm.
young boys were having a big old crush on the young boy.
Yeah,
on,
ship him
on
with
the Jack Frost.
ship him with Elsa.
Or ship him with Esther Bunnyman, or ship him with Toothiana, which I've seen that kind of artwork, of course, or with Pitch Black, because hey, why not the protagonist with the bad boy? I mean,
Like,
it happens.
I get the idea that like two ice icons, but the thing is, you know, the Jack Frost is like 300 years old, so
And Elsa's like 21.
that's
Oh,
yeah.
so
Maybe
I,
21-ish,
I thought you were gonna go the opposite direction, because technically, isn't like Jack eternally 16 years old or whatever?
Either 16
mean,
or 21, I
but
cannot
he's
recall.
he's still been like unliving, like ghosting for
He became a
300
spirit.
years.
He became a winter spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Because-
300 years.
Yeah.
See, this film,
Yeah, because
this film was very weird for me to watch, because the only experience I had with Jack Frost was the Santa Claus 3, the Escape Clause, and so that
Oh
was.
my god.
I am an unironic defender of that movie. Well, maybe a little bit ironic, but like still, it's a film I watched a bunch as a kid, and so. Like, Jack Frost is in that movie as the villain, and so when, you know, when I watch this film, I'm like, this is a very different take on Jack Frost.
Funny, with me, it wasn't really because of the Santa Claus movies. It was thanks to some of these like story, either like bedtime stories that my mom used to collect for me, like these big books with like the entire story, like stretched out in like 2 pages with illustrations on it. And one of them had this like odd story about this very Cinderella based tale of like, yeah, you have like this family that hates this young woman who is beautiful, and they just want to get rid of her, so they send her to gather firewood during a freaking blizzard and
Mhm.
hope that, hey, she might die out there. And so she goes out to gather the firewood, and she stumbles upon Jack Frost, who is just doing his thing. I cannot recall the details, but I do remember some of the illustrations and how she just, instead of running away or, you know, doing the usual thing that humans do, she just waves hi to this winter spirit that ends up being Jack Frost, and Jack Frost is taken like taken aback a little bit, but also taken by her. Because of how beautiful she is and how kind she is, that she just invites him back to her house, to her family, and basically become a couple. And the family's like, oh shit, what the hell? What the hell? He's supposed to die. That's what I remember. That was like my first exposure to Jack Frost, thanks to that little story. And so I already knew who Jack Frost was, but I was curious of how they were going to handle him in this movie, because of course, not like every legend has its own version, like how in some parts of Europe you have Santa Claus and then you have his anti-version, or like his counterpart Krampus, or just like different versions. Even like in various Latin American or even European countries, instead of the Tooth Fairy, it's a mouse that collects teeth, which is referenced in the movie.
Yeah, I've heard of
a European division.
I had heard of the mouse one myself when I was a kid, because again, Macedonian. My parents used the Tooth Fairy just because, you know, we were in Australia and that's like the most common one. But like I had definitely heard of the mouse one as well as a kid.
It was very prominent in Mexico.
Want to know something funny? So when researching a little bit for the film, like one of the people were saying, like, so Jack from Jack and Jill, Jack the Giant Slayer,
God.
like in like all these interpretations of Jack, Stingy Jack who cheated death, and Jack Frost, all the same character.
No.
I mean, they all got films around the same time. Hold on, when did Jack and Jill come out? Jack and
Jesus
Jill.
Christ, no.
Jill. When did that come out?
Not that one. Like, I was talking about Jack and Jill went up the hill. That legend.
To fetch a thing in the water.
Like basically, they're all supposed to be the same person.
Because Jack the Giant Slayer also came out around this time as well.
Jesus Christ. They had a thing for like, hey, revisiting like old, like either nursery rhymes or like old childhood stories.
And Jack Skellington is also supposed to be Jack Frost as well.
It's also like I've seen that a couple times with like fairy tales, because a lot of people like write the wolf who is in the Three Little Pigs to be the same wolf that's in Little Red Riding Hood, which doesn't make sense to me, because doesn't he die in that at the end of both versions? Like
well, he gets his gut open up and put like stones and then thrown in a river.
Yeah.
Not in the Three Little Pigs. So it's like if you do the Three Little Pigs first, it makes sense.
Oh yeah, because he just
kind of referenced in the Wolf Among Us.
he just gets burnt a little bit. You could say he was burnt, but like he didn't die from it, you know.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the fairy tales are supposed to be the same person. I just find it funny that there's all these Jacks that are supposed to be the same Jack, and like Jack Frost and Jack Skellington. I don't know how that works. Those are the only ones, but like the rest,
people wanna invent that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But
so,
do we have anything else we want to say about Rise of the Guardians?
Of course.
No, watch it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I just wanted to talk a little bit more of like the story a little bit, but I think we talked a little bit much. If you guys are interested in reading the books, they are of course very different from what's shown in the movie, because the books are pretty much like an extended version, and each and every one of the books like handles a particular character. Like the first one is of course Nicholas A. North, and how everything starts off with a backstory of how Pitch Black became Pitch Black. But as the books progress, and especially the one when we reach Jack Frost's book, because that book came out after the movie, it's so odd because it involves the series also involves aliens, which that's not the weirdest part. It's not the weirdest part, but what I found like really odd and very weird, because I haven't read the book yet, but I had heard like snippets, is that Jack Frost isn't really the Jack Frost that we know in the movie. It's this other character, Nightlight, that fought against Pitch and protected the Man in the Moon when he was a baby, and then some willy-nilly shenanigans happened that makes him turn into Jack Frost and forget his time as Nightlight, and it's such a weird concept, which I don't know why this happens. I need to read the books. I have the entire collection. I just need to continue reading. I stopped at the Sandman book, which is book number 4, and I just need to, because it's an easy read. It's a very easy read. It is for children.
Yeah.
And it's William Joyce with his amazing illustrations. That man did such a great job.
I will say
it's such an odd concept.
I will say I really like the artwork. Just like looking these books up, I really like the artwork that they're saddled with. Like he does a really good job of like picturing like all these characters, and they look pretty close to the movie. Like, you know, I know some of them came out
because again,
afterwards.
he was writing the books while the movie was being made.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so if you're interested, you can read the books. Just don't expect that they're like directly from the movie. They're pretty much like a base. Like, yeah, you can take certain aspects of it and put it in the movie, similar to how they did with How to Train Your Dragon, which is nowhere close to the book, the first one, because
Thank God. I've seen Dom's review.
Yeah, it's the movie is way better.
Yeah.
And of course, I love how there's this one scene with Jack Frost and Pitch Black, with me being a Pitch Black defender because husband.
I will say, Fruity says in the chat, it's funny to think that Jack Horner is the same as Jack Frost.
Oh no, Fruity!
Yep, and the Jack that jumped over the candlestick, same Jack.
Oh my goodness. There's this scene like after the other Guardians think that Jack betrayed them because, hey, how did you get the teeth with your memories? Oh my god, you must have made a deal with Pitch Black. Oh my god, you betrayed us. And you see how, like, okay, this is before me talking about Pitch Black, but it's like the relationship between Bunnymund and Jack. You see them being like these rivals, but at the same time, at the beginning of the movie, you see that Bunny does not like Jack. He does not want him to be a guardian, and he completely opposes him almost every step of the way, but then starts to see the good in Jack and how he is trying to make an effort of showing like, hey, I'm not just pranks and snowballs and everything, like I'm good. And he starts like showing off, especially when we are at the Bunny Warren doing the eggs with little Sophie, the little girl that stumbles into the Warren on accident. You see that they start like having a bond and being vulnerable with each other, and how that trust is pretty much like dashed when the eggs get crushed by the nightmares after Jack gets his teeth back.
Yeah.
And how Bunnymund, you see that he is broken. He is so like upset about the entire situation, about how children no longer believe in him, feeling what Jack is feeling, but not necessarily thinking it that way. And how he was about to strike Jack, like he was about to hit him. You see his hand going up when he says, "We shouldn't have trusted you." And then he starts talking about his like what he represents, hope, and how he lost his hope. And then going to how Jack just runs off to the Antarctic after the rest of the Guardians also like turn their backs on him, thinking of the betrayal, and how Pitch comes forth with why he's doing all of this. Because number one, he wants to be believed in, and he is getting that power back, but that's just surface level. That's what we're shown. That's what we're led to believe, that it's just that, which, yeah, it is almost all of it, but you get hints of what happened from the books. Like when he tries to get Jack on his side, like, yeah, I always thought that they would never accept you, but now you know how it feels, and that I believe in you. But then Jack, of course, attacks him, being like, yeah, whatever you say, no, how dare you say that you know how I'm feeling. And it's like, no, I know how it feels to be forgotten, to be shoved in the dark, about having that longing for recognition, for having a family. Like, that hits hard if you read the books.
Yeah,
And then how
I'm,
he's
I'm,
like,
s- I'm,
yeah,
so,
you,
I'm sorry to
yeah.
railroad you, Tifa, but like, you know, I was thinking for us to be done in just a little bit. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I
sorry
was,
about that. I
yeah,
just wanted to talk about that scene because I love it so much.
yeah,
Because it's pitch black, like being vulnerable so that he could get Jack on his side. And again, it's all in the books. It's all in the books. And it's
yeah.
one of the reasons why I love his character. And you also see his disappointment and also sense of betrayal when Jack is like outright saying, "No, leave me the frick alone. Leave me out of this." You see those micro expressions on pitch black on his face being like, "Oh, you're not gonna accept my offer," and then just turn into anger, being like, "Oh, so you want to be alone? Fine, but first," and then the whole situation with that scene. It's so this character is not just one dimensional. He has so many dimensions to him, and it's one of the reasons I love his character. Not only because he is pretty hot, and also voiced by Jude Law. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that scene because it just resonates with me.
Yeah, but with that being said, I think overall, all three of us are just on. I think we've mostly been on the same wavelength about most of these films. But like, yeah, just Rise of the Guardians is really, really good. And I definitely say it's like my second favorite of this lot of films. But I've also had more time to think about this one and watch it, you know. So, yeah.
With that said, you're fired.
No,
It also has a very magnificent score, which, unless you can find it through some odd channels, you will not have like the complete soundtrack in hand. You're gonna have like a short version, which that's the one that I had, and then if you look hard enough, you will get the entire score where they have like the missing pieces of music that are not in the official one. So go hunting if you love that soundtrack.
Yeah. But with that being said, I'm glad that we were finally able to do this stream because I've been wanting to do it for a while now. It's been in the live section of the channel, just sitting there for a little while now. And I don't blame anyone if they forgot that we were doing this stream. But I'm glad that we were able to. It was a good chance for Tifa to get to gush about some films that she really loves. And I want to give her that because coming up next, for the next episode of the Backslog. In fact, coming up next for the next 4 episodes of the Backslog, we are going to be handling a series that
This is your fault.
we're going to be handling a series that we've been talking about for quite a while on this channel. You know, and there'll be like other videos down the line that we do to discuss this series as well. This is definitely only our first step. You know, our first step in covering this, but for the next time on Backslog, for the next few times on the Backslog, we will be jumping into Fate's Stay Night. Basically, the plan for this is that Zen will of course be reading the visual novel in her own time, you know, like as we go, but for these podcasts, we are going to be focusing on the anime adaptations of Fate's Stay Night. We're going to be doing, for the next time, we're going to be doing the 2006 adaptation of Fate's Stay Night, which adapts the first route, the Fate route. The next stream after that is going to be the adaptation on Unlimited Blade Works, which is the second route. And then the third stream is going to be the third route, which is Heaven's Feel. And then the final stream for now. And we'll likely do other Fate streams down the line, but in terms of like just the streams we're going to be doing coming up, the final of this block of Fate is going to be on Fate Zero, which is the prequel to Fate's Stay Night. But that'll
Send help. Send help.
Hey,
she's making
hey,
me read
hey,
Danganronpa
hey,
and then
hey,
Send
reading
hey,
help.
Fate and then
hey,
watching
hey,
Fate.
Hey. You know that's hell you're walking into, right?
Send help.
Tifa gets that
Send
one
Send
now.
help.
But with that being said, thank you all for joining us for this stream. It has been fun. And until next time, I am Philip.
I'm Zenith Warrior Princess, the cutest of ghost buns, who is now regretting everything about Phil.
And I am Tifa, also known as Gutslove.
And we will catch you guys in the next stream when we discuss Fate's Stay Night to 2006. So with all that said, oh, by the way, next week, because we have a bunch of videos planned out for the next few weeks, you know, to release weekly because we are finally back on track with our schedule. But next week's video is either going to be my first scripted video on the channel, which is going to be me recounting my trip to America last year, and that's going to be that's the story time video I said I was working on in the update, so look forward to that. It's either going to be that or the next Disney debate. The next Disney debate is already done, but I kind of want that storytime video to be first, but if it's not done by next week, then it'll be the Disney debate video. So it'll be one of the two, and then whichever of the two it's not will be the next week after next week after this video. So yeah, with all that being said, have a good one, everyone. We will see you next time for Fate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. And Phil's fired, but too much reading.